Aloha, y'all. Daniel Aaron with you. Feedback. First, how does this relate? This video is part of a series, though it stands on its own. You don't need to watch anything before or after to get the value I have for you today about feedback, how to use it, how to create mastery in your life. This is, I believe, one of the most powerful awarenesses, tools, skills you can develop to create mastery. I don't mean become a master, I mean create mastery. Becoming a master sounds like you got it all figured out. Hey, no. A life that matters, what you want in your life that matters, is a process of continual growth and evolution. So, getting better all the time, moving toward mastery. And this series is about me coming out of the closet with the title of minister, reverend, and honoring with such gratitude the phenomenal, amazing, many powerful mentors, teachers, guides that have supported me in this 30 plus year journey right now that keeps going. So this is, in some ways, it's not a specific, right? I'm not honoring a specific teacher. However, right, I will share with you here the methodology that in all these years, and I've explored a lot of how feedback works. And let me define it in some way. It's when somebody gives somebody information about what happened, right? That's a simple definition of it. It could be me giving myself feedback about, like, after this monologue or conversation. Let me see, I can get to the comments too. If you comment, then I can comment back, respond. And after this communication, I can look back and give myself feedback. How'd it go? What happened? Right? It can be, you giving me feedback and me giving you feedback. Right? Oftentimes it's the teacher giving the student feedback, and I've seen it go badly. I've seen people do it in such a way that it damages others. I remember when I was in graduate writing school and I was given feedback where I ended up with the feeling of, I should quit. I shouldn't do this anymore. I'm super lucky because it lasted all of about 30 seconds. However, I know of stories with people in Masters of Fine Arts degrees where they get such harsh feedback they quit. Kills creativity. That's possible with feedback. So I've seen a lot of feedback, and I've also experienced feedback that blew me open and catapulted me forward. So I've distilled that into a methodology that's extremely effective, right? And I'm going to give that to you. First, though, it's important to understand that knowing the value of feedback is so important, and being able to frame it. Right? One of my declarations is I am inspirational leadership, alchemizing criticism into brilliance. Like the legend of the peacock, the legend of the peacock, where the peacock is one of the only predators for the cobra. Legend has it that the peacock can kill the cobra, take its poison, metabolize it, and that's what creates those brilliant colors. Now, I don't think it's probably true, and it's a good legend. So that's my image for it. And part of why I declare that, why I create myself into that, is because the more vocal I am, the more I offer myself an attempt to serve the world and do good in the world, the more criticism I will receive. Fact of life, right? Check out my heroes, Martin Luther King Jr., Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson. They got Jesus, right? When we offer into the world, especially from our heart, it's going to provoke. People will attack. So my aim is to take that as fuel. So I'm saying this to invite you to cultivate in yourself not only a willingness for feedback, a desire for it, maybe even a ravenous desire. I learned a long time ago when I was first working on creative writing that if I don't get feedback, it's very hard to make my stuff better, right? And it's also important, and there's a great lesson from that kind of creative feedback, whether it's music or dance or writing, whatever, artists know this really well. Got to get feedback. It's hard to read the label from inside the jar, right? The eye only tends to see out. And the artist must remain the artist, the boss, the creator, so that no matter what feedback I get, even if it's 50 people telling me, no, that's the wrong word, it's still up to me to decide. And how many times have people said, no, 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 no. And thank goodness the artist said, yes, I'm staying with it, whether that's Walt Disney or J.R. Rowling. Right? So cultivate the desire for feedback, because it's what gives you the possibility, the freedom to be able to see things new, to make the choice. And two, the courage and strength and power inside yourself that no matter what anybody says, you can alchemize that and make that gold for you. Create the brilliance that you are. And there are ways of delivering it that are effective and ways that are less effective. Sometimes it's harder to do that alchemy when somebody delivers feedback in certain ways, right? So, how to do it? 3 letters for you, acronyms, I guess they are. One is www, and did you know that to say www has more syllables in it than World Wide Web? Isn't that strange? In any case, in this situation, I don't mean World Wide Web, I mean what went well. And so feedback, please always start it with, and always, and especially if this is hard to do, start it with what went well. So when I give myself feedback about this conversation, I will start with what went well. And I might say something like, well, and I could, step aside and talk to myself. Well, Daniel, you really care about this subject, and that came through. And you did your best to explain it thoroughly, covering various aspects. Okay, great. That's what went well. Then, and only then, do I go to the other 3 letters, which are EBI, even better if. Now, stay with me, because there's a really important part of this. This is where feedback goes wrong so many times. Even when people are good at feedback, like getting the what went well part first, they often miss this part because they say, what should I have done differently? And what they're doing is they're going back, saying, oh, I should have done this differently. And we want to go back so we can learn how to go forward. That's why I use specifically EBI, even better if is forward. It's like it's assuming I'm going to get another chance, because guess what? That's how life, spiritual evolution works. We're here to get the lessons, and until we do, we're not going to go forward. We're going to keep getting those same lessons. Are you with me? So even better if, and if I'm giving myself feedback about this conversation, I might say, well, even better if the camera was a little bit higher. Even better if I had a little bit more even lighting. I can see one side of my face is a bit dark, right? Even better if next time I create a little more evenness with my screen, right? And I'm just giving examples here. I would actually want to go, for me, I'm more interested in the way I'm speaking and what I'm sharing with you than the actual layout of it. So what went well? Because the more we can recognize what went well, the more we're automatically doing more of that. I learned this in writing workshops way back in 1994 with Pat Schneider. Somebody reads their work and we would respond with, what did you like? What do you remember? And at first I thought, oh, come on, where's the criticism? What I learned, though, is that automatically teaches us, oh, hey, that worked. We don't have to effort. We just start doing more of that. And only after we've done www, then we go to EBI, which is saying, all right, I can learn from the past. So next time, even better if there are more stories. Even better if I have more facial. I'm just making up examples. You know what I mean? Right. So there you go. There is a tidbit on feedback. Oh, I'm going to say one more piece because it's come the 3rd time, and it's part of my mission, part of my own challenge to myself is if something keeps coming, I share it no matter what. And that is feedback sometimes is uncomfortable, especially when we're in the coaching or teaching role. It's important to be able to offer something to someone without attachment, without insistence, without needing to be right, that might be uncomfortable for them. Now, this can go over the line where the teacher, mentor, guide, whoever needs to be right, needs for them to have a certain reaction. Then it's about their ego. It's not about the person they're with. It can go over the other line where they don't say it because, oh, they might feel uncomfortable. It might come across in a way I don't want. They might like me less. We might, all these fears that could be there. And I think about, again, going back to, here's the last point I'll share with you. Going back to, feedback can be delivered in such a way that it's injurious. And we can, no matter how it's delivered, create the listening inside ourselves such that no matter what they say or how they say it, I find the gold in it. I alchemize it like a peacock, right? And there was a time in my life when one of my teachers, I'm not going to go into details about now, delivered some feedback that was hard, really hard for me to hear. And part of it was accurate, part of it was inaccurate. It was so strong that it shook up some of my identity, some of my ego. And that was hard because the human animal survival part of me said, no, this is bad, I'm dying. And as that process continued, part of what happened is, some part of me did die and something else was born from that. And it was beautiful. So that's also to say, maybe the most important part of this is the eagerness for the feedback, the willingness to give it to others, because that's part of how we create the willingness to receive it. And tips for pros, high level, the willingness to receive it however it comes and turn it into gold. All right. I hope that is useful, fun, interesting, innocuous. And if you would like to have a conversation, if you would like to talk about what you are creating in your life, what you would love to be moving forward in, creating mastery in, accomplishing, creating, send me a message, DM me, email me, Daniel@Daniel, because I would love to connect with you. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. I love you. I appreciate you.